so now that we have gone through the first 3 steps of our technique, we're moving on to the last piece where we finally get to look at the answer choices. And it should be a breeze because we know exactly what we're looking for here. The only thing that could trip you up is if you stumble upon a really, really hard vocabulary word. So the last step of the technique is called process of elimination. What you want to do for every sentence is go through it word by word, unless you have a flying blind sentence where you're going to look at it as a pair. So for the last time, we're going to look at that first sentence again, and we're going to see if we can get the correct answer. So we had said that we're looking for a negative word in the first blank, like worsen, and that the second blank was going to be something positive. So I'm just going to write that down so we know exactly what to look for when we're looking at these answer choices. So we'll use this one first. So we're looking for negative, meaning worsen. And then the second blank could be anything positive. Okay, so now what I want you to do is look at this question on your drill, and we're going to go through the answer choices one by one. In general, the second blank usually has easier vocab words, so it's probably a good idea to start there to start your elimination process. So going through these, we know we're looking for a positive. What you're going to do on your paper for every question is give each word either a check if that makes sense with your prediction, an X if it doesn't make sense with your prediction, or a question mark if you have no idea what this word means. So looking at letter A, the word is effective. Clearly effective is positive, so we're going to give that a check. Then B is convenient, which is also a positive word, so that also gets a check. C is super negative, it's useless, so we cross out that entire answer choice. We don't need to waste our time looking at the first word because we already know that the second word makes no sense. Then we have representative. Now representative is kind of a neutral word. You could leave it in or you could cross it out, but most likely these two are so positive that it's probably not going to be D. But if you want to leave it in with like a little dash, like it's okay but not great, and then we could check out the first blank, we will. Then our last word is helpful, which we know is positive. So now we're looking at those 4 in terms of the first blank. So starting with letter E, we have validate. Now validate might be a word that you don't know. So if that's the case, you're going to put a question mark here and leave it at the end. But valid, the first portion of that word, is definitely positive, so validate is the verb form and is also positive. So we can now get rid of this since we're looking for a negative. Negotiate is also a pretty neutral word. You can negotiate something good or you can negotiate something bad. So since we're looking for something negative, it doesn't mean to make worse. So now we can really get rid of D. Then you get to B, and that says ascertain. You might not know what that means, so I'm going to assume you don't and put in a question mark. And then letter A is undermine. You also might not know what that means. So I'm going to put in a question mark. In this case, if you have a question mark and a check, and a question mark and a check, what you want to do is read the words in the sentence to see if one of them just happens to sound better. If both of them sound okay, then you're going to want to pick the one with the harder word as your last choice so that you're not leaving this question blank. In general, on the sentence completions, you want to take an educated guess anytime you can eliminate 2 or more answer choices. So since we've gotten rid of 3, we're definitely picking one. Now if we look at these 2 words, undermine, if you go under a mine, that's kind of digging out the foundation. And that's exactly what this means. To undermine something means to make it worse. And so this is our answer. ascertain actually means to find out. So that doesn't really work here in terms of making verbs. So that's out for us. So then we get to letter A, and that's your answer. So now finally we're going to go to drill C, which is the last time you will be seeing these questions again. But now you're going to see the same questions as in drill A and B, but this time they have answer choices.